Enemies stranded in. The deep, dark corners of space, two ships were chasing each other like angry bees. One was human, fast and strong. The other was Virex, sharp and deadly. The stars around them were silent, watching the chaos unfold. Captain, Rayna Carter sat inside her fighter ship, her eyes locked on the enemy. Her voice was cold. Target locked. Firing in 3, 2. But just before she could fire, a blast hit her from the side. Her ship spun like a broken top. System failure, the screen screamed. At the same time, inside the Virex ship, Commander Zeke Varnox growled. His long fingers tapped the screen. Human weapon hit us, shields down. His pilot looked at him. We're going to crash. Both ships, damaged and smoking, fell toward a green, strange planet below. Neither side won the fight. Both were falling. The crash was loud and fiery. Rayna crawled out of the wreckage, covered in dirt and blood. Her right arm was bleeding. Her ship was a burning pile of metal. She pulled out her blaster and checked her scanner. One life form nearby. Virex, she whispered, her eyes full of fire. Not far from her, Zeke climbed out of his broken ship. He coughed, holding his side. His armor was cracked. He looked around with sharp eyes. His scanner beeped. Human. Close. He picked up his weapon. Minutes later, in a wide open field surrounded by glowing blue plants, they saw each other. Rayna aimed her blaster. Zeke pointed his pulse blade. Drop your weapon, Rayna shouted. You first, human, Zeke growled. They circled each other like wolves, eyes locked. Wind howled around them. The alien sky above them was dark, with 3 small moons watching. I should kill you right now, Rayna said, stepping closer. Try, Zeke replied. His voice was like ice. They charged, blaster fired, blades swung. They fought hard, fast, and angry, but neither had the strength to win. Rayna's leg gave out. Zeke's side hurt too much. They stopped, breathing heavy. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the valley. Something big was coming. The ground shook. Both turned and saw it, an alien beast, 10 feet tall, with glowing red eyes and sharp claws. Rayna looked at Zeke. We can fight each other later. We need to run, now! Zeke nodded without a word. They ran through the forest, trees glowing blue and green. The beast followed, breaking trees like sticks. Rayna slipped once, but Zeke caught her arm. She looked at him, surprised. Don't die before I kill you myself, he said. They reached a cave and hid inside. The beast sniffed outside but left after a while. Darkness filled the cave. They sat far apart, breathing hard. Why are your people attacking Earth? Rayna asked finally. Zeke stared at the fire she lit. You attacked our moon first. Rayna shook her head. That was an accident. A mining mission gone wrong. Zeke didn't answer. He looked tired. Old. Like someone who had seen too much. Or, we hate each other for things we didn't even do, he said quietly. Rayna looked at her blaster, now useless. Maybe. Outside, rain started to fall. Alien rain. It made the plants glow brighter. Inside the cave, the silence grew heavy. That night, Rayna woke up to a strange sound. She saw Zeke standing near the entrance, weapon ready. Something's out there, he whispered. They waited. But nothing came. After a while, she walked to his side. He didn't move. Thanks, she said. He looked at her. His eyes were still sharp, but softer than before. You saved me from the beast too, he replied. I noticed. They stood, there watching the glowing forest. 2 enemies, 2 survivors. On a strange planet alone. And something had changed, just a little. Truce or trap? The next morning, light filtered through the cracks in the cave, casting soft shadows across the rocky floor. Rayna woke up with a stiff back and a bad mood. Sleeping on cold stone with a half-broken blaster under your arm wasn't exactly luxury. Zeke was already awake, sharpening a long metal rod he'd pulled from his ship wreckage. His eyes shifted toward her when she sat up, but he didn't speak. For a moment, they just stared at each other. Not as enemies, not as friends, just survivors. "Sleep well?" she asked, stretching. "Not with a human snoring beside me," Zeke muttered, though his voice had a strange, dry humor in it. Raina rolled her eyes. "You're lucky I didn't stab you in your sleep. I am not the one who dreams loudly about coffee." She blinked. "Wait, you understand what coffee is?" "I studied human culture," he replied. "I know it's a sacred fuel for your kind." Raina smirked, just a little. The planet's mystery. They walked out of the cave together, weapons drawn. The planet's morning light was pale blue, and strange flying creatures flapped across the sky like glowing kites. The ground was covered in vines that shimmered when touched. Trees whispered in a language neither of them understood. It was beautiful, in a dangerous way. Raina's stomach growled. Zeke tossed her a pack of food. It wasn't human rations, but hunger made her brave. She sniffed it. "Smells like burnt seaweed." "Tastes like regret," he replied. They ate in silence, but something in the silence had changed. It wasn't cold anymore. It was watchful. A signal. Or a trap. Later, as they searched for higher ground to get a better view of the area, Zake's scanner picked up a faint energy reading. Raina's eyes narrowed. "What is it?" "Old tech, not ours. Alien, but advanced." Zake's tone became serious. "Could be a comms tower. A way to call for help. Or a trap." They found the source a few miles away, an ancient structure half covered in roots and dust. The walls were metallic, but not any metal they recognized. The air buzzed with static. Inside, strange symbols lit up when Raina touched the console. Zeke stepped back. "Be careful." "You think I don't know how to push buttons?" she said, already pushing buttons. The console beeped. A voice echoed, deep and robotic, in an unknown language. Suddenly, the screen flashed a map. Dots blinked. "One red, one blue. That's us," Raina whispered. Zeke looked closely. "It's tracking us." Then the screen glitched, and a countdown started. 10 tired, 9:59, 9:58. "What the hell did you do?" he barked. "I thought it was a comm system. It's a beacon. Someone or something is coming." Suspicion rises back at the cave. Tension returned like an unwanted guest. "You pressed the button." "Now something knows we're here," Zeke said. Raina stood up. "You wanted to find tech too?" "Yes. But I didn't try to play with it like a child with fireworks." She took a step toward him. "Are you blaming me? Or are you hiding something?" Zake's eyes narrowed. "What are you saying?" "I saw you near that console before me. You did something. You think I would sabotage my own escape?" "I don't know what you'd do," she said. "You're still the enemy." His face went cold. "And so are you." They stood inches apart, breath sharp, eyes fierce. The air between them was thick with anger, and something else. Something dangerous. Something that had nothing to do with war. A strange connection. The night was colder than before. A storm rolled in, lightning crackling purple through the sky. The cave trembled. With each rumble of thunder, Raina sat near the fire, rubbing her arms. Zeke placed a blanket, his own, beside her. She looked at him in surprise. "Thanks." He didn't answer. "I've killed your kind," she said softly, after a long silence. "I've killed yours." They stared at the fire. "Do you ever think we're all just following orders?" Raina whispered. "Like we never had a choice." Zeke didn't speak, but his silence was deep, heavy. "I lost my brother in the first attack," she said. "He was a pilot. He trusted a peace signal that turned out to be a bomb." Zeke closed his eyes. "I lost my bondmate. She believed in peace too." The fire crackled between them. Their eyes met, not as warriors, not even as survivors, as people. Footsteps in the dark, just before dawn. A sound echoed through the cave. Click, click, click. Reyna sat up fast, grabbing her blaster. Zeke stood with his blade. The fire was dead. Shadows danced along the cave walls. Something was in there with them, not the beast from before. This walked on two legs. They backed against the wall, weapons raised. A whisper echoed. Then silence. Reyna whispered, "That wasn't human, and that wasn't Virex." Zeke nodded, eyes wide. "Something else is here." The alien threat. The cave was quiet again. Too quiet. Reyna's heart beat hard in her chest as she scanned the shadows. Her blaster was shaking slightly in her grip. Zeke stood next to her, blade ready, eyes narrowed like a predator sensing a bigger predator nearby. The whisper they'd heard was still echoing in her mind. Whatever that was. "It wasn't a hallucination," Reyna whispered. "Agreed," Zeke said, his voice low, focused. "That sound, it was language." "What kind of language clicks like bone on stone?" Zeke didn't answer, because he didn't know. The clue in the darkness. The next morning, they returned to the ruins of the alien structure they'd discovered in Part 2. The countdown on the screen had ended, but nothing happened. No ships, no signal, no answers. Only one thing had changed. Something had carved symbols into the wall beside the console. They weren't there the day before. Reyna's breath caught. "That wasn't here yesterday." Zeke ran his clawed fingers over the markings. "These are warning symbols, ancient ones. I've seen them in Virex archives. They belong to a race that vanished long ago." "Vanished," she repeated. He looked at her. "No one knows how or where they went, but some say they didn't leave. They just went underground." Reyna stared at the markings, symbols that glowed faintly red now, like blood under skin. The discovery. They followed strange tracks leading away from the ruins. The ground was soft, marked with deep, odd-shaped footprints, like bare feet, but with 6 toes and claws. The trail led to a ravine. Thick vines covered the entrance to what looked like another cave system. Zeke hesitated. "Going down there is suicide." Reyna raised an eyebrow. "We already crashed a ship, got hunted by an alien bear, and survived each other. What's a little more crazy?" Zeke gave a low grunt. "Humans have no fear." She smirked. "We just pretend better." They entered the darkness. The underground nightmare. The cave twisted and turned like a throat made of stone. Strange patterns covered the walls, glowing faintly when touched. The air smelled metallic like blood and electricity. Then they saw it. A skeleton. But not human. And not Virex. The bones were long and thin, almost insect-like. The skull had 4 eyes and long mandibles. Reyna knelt beside it, her voice tight. "What the hell lived here?" Zeke turned slowly. "Not lived. Still lives." A sound echoed behind them. Click, click, click. Closer this time. Then, a hiss. Reyna spun around, just in time to see a shadow vanish into the wall. She cursed under her breath. "That thing's toying with us," Zeke growled. "Then we stop playing." The first attack. Suddenly, the wall to Reyna's right moved. Something crawled out of it, blending in with the stone. It lunged fast, claws out, jaws wide. Reyna ducked. Zeke slammed it with his blade. The creature shrieked, black blood spraying as it retreated. Reyna gasped. "It blends in with rock. It's camouflage." Zeke looked at her. "Worse, it's intelligent. It let us follow it." The cave rumbled. Again. Multiple clicks echoed around them now. More than one creature. At least 4. Maybe 5. Zeke raised his blade. "We're being hunted." Reyna gritted her teeth. "Then let's be harder to catch." The mind trap, they ran through narrow tunnels, taking random turns, dodging strange traps. Spike pits, crumbling bridges, even gas vents that messed with their vision. Reyna stumbled. Zeke caught her. Again. But this time, when their eyes met, something changed. A pause, a flicker of trust. Before anything could be said, a high-pitched tone filled the air. Reyna dropped to her knees. "It's in my head." Zeke fell beside her, clutching his ears. A psychic wave, a mind attack. From the shadows, one of the creatures stepped out. This one was taller, smarter. It didn't rush them, it studied them. Then, it spoke. In a broken version of Virex language. "Why, are you here?" Reyna gasped. "It's talking." The creature tilted its head. "You woke us." "Woke who?" Zeke growled. The creature didn't answer. It stepped back and vanished. The escape, after what felt like hours. They found an old shaft leading back to the surface. Zeke helped Reyna climb. When they reached the top, the alien sky had turned red. Something was shifting in the atmosphere. Storms coming. But the real storm was beneath them now. Reyna leaned against a rock, breathing hard. "They were sleeping. We woke them up." Zeke nodded. "And they remember war." She looked at him, fear in her eyes for the first time. "Zeke, they're not just predators. They're ancient, smart, and they're preparing something." He didn't speak, because he already knew. And far, far below them, the alien creatures began to move, in groups, organized, marching. Closer than ever, night returned with sharp winds and heavy clouds. The alien sky flickered with green lightning, and the stars were hidden behind a swirling storm. Reyna and Zeke found shelter in an abandoned alien structure carved into the mountainside. Inside, it was cold, cracked, and quiet, but safer than the caves full of ancient nightmares, at least for now. Reyna dropped her bag and collapsed against the wall, her body sore and her mind spinning. Zeke stood by the entrance, silent and watchful, like a statue with a blade. Neither of them spoke for a while. Because what could they say? They'd woken something older than both of their civilizations. Something that didn't care about who started the war. It just wanted them both dead. A dangerous wound. Reyna winced and touched her side. Blood. She'd been cut during the escape. Deep. She hadn't even noticed until now. Adrenaline keeping the pain away. But now it pulsed with every breath. Zeke turned as she hissed in pain. "You're bleeding," I noticed. She muttered. "You didn't say anything." "I didn't want to give you ideas." He walked over, crouched in front of her. "Let me help," Reyna blinked. "You serious? A week ago you were trying to rip my head off." "I still might," he said. "But not today." That was probably his version of "you're welcome." Zeke pulled a med kit from his belt and gently cleaned the wound. His hands were strong but careful. Reyna watched him in silence. It was weird. She'd never seen a Virex this close before, without fighting, without shouting, without fear, just silence, breathing, and a strange warmth between them. "You were trained in medicine?" she asked. He didn't look up. "Virex soldiers are trained in everything, in case we're the last ones left." Reyna nodded slowly. "Yeah, us too." He wrapped the bandage carefully and stood. "You'll live." "Oh good," she said, dryly. "Can't die before you insult my species again." The walls start falling. The storm outside roared louder, shaking the structure. Reyna sat up against the wall, watching the lightning flash through broken windows. Zeke stood nearby, his back to her. After a while, she asked, "Do you ever wonder if we were lied to?" He turned slightly. "About what?" "About everything," she said. "Why we hate each other. Why we fight. What we're told versus what's true." He didn't answer. So she continued. "My brother believed in peace. He died in an ambush because he answered a fake signal. I spent years blaming your kind." Zeke finally spoke, his voice low. "My bondmate was a diplomat. She tried to open talks with your side. She never came back." Reyna looked at him. "So we both lost people who tried to stop the war." Zeke nodded. "And we became the ones who continued it." The broadcast that wasn't meant to be. In the far corner of the room there was a device. Old. Cracked. But still holding power. Raina stood and walked over to it, touching the screen. It came to life. Barely. The interface showed an old message. A hologram. Zeke came closer. They played it. A Virex and a human, standing side by side, smiling, shaking hands. Behind them, a banner with both their flags. Raina's eyes widened. This is real. Zake's voice was tight. This was before the war. The message played. Together, we rise. Together, we reach the stars. Peace is not weakness. It is strength. Then the screen flickered out. Gone. Just like the dream of peace. Closer they sat side by side that night, neither of them saying much. Just sitting. Not like enemies. Not like strangers. But like people carrying the same weight. After a while, Raina leaned her head back against the wall and said quietly, I don't know what happens after this. I don't even know if we get off this planet. Zeke looked at her. Then we survive, he said. Together. Until we find a way. She met his gaze. Something had changed. It wasn't love. Not yet. But it wasn't hate anymore either. Just something in between. Raw. Real. Dangerous. They're not alone. Just before dawn, the device crackled again. Not the hologram this time. A new signal. Alien script filled the screen. Zake's eyes widened. They're coming. Raina stood quickly. The creatures? No. Worse. The alien signal wasn't a warning. It was a countdown to something buried under the surface. A weapon? A city? A species? Zeke turned to Raina. We didn't just wake up hunters. Raina swallowed. We woke up an army. And as the first light of day hit the broken windows, a deep metallic hum echoed through the ground beneath their feet. The mountain was moving. Something was rising. Betrayal. Or misunderstanding? The mountain was humming. Raina felt it in her bones. Not a sound exactly, more like a vibration crawling under her skin. The walls of the shelter quivered. Outside, the ground pulsed like a giant heart. Something ancient was waking up, and it wasn't happy. The secret signal that morning while Raina was resting, Zeke returned to the ruins alone. He didn't tell her. He didn't say why. He moved quickly through the wreckage, reaching the ancient alien console they'd used before. He checked the energy levels. Still active. He input a short sequence. Not Virex, not human. Something older. He sent a signal. It lasted only 3 seconds. A whisper in the dark. Too fast for anyone else to notice. But someone heard it. Suspicion back at the shelter. Raina woke up alone. Zeke was gone. His gear, too. She felt a chill creep up her spine. She checked her scanner. No Virex life signs nearby. He left me? But he returned. A few hours later, calm, quiet, carrying fruit-like pods from nearby trees. Raina stood at the entrance, arms crossed. Where were you? Zeke didn't answer at first. He handed her a pod. Food. I asked you a question. He finally looked at her. I was scouting, looking for a path off the mountain. Raina didn't believe him. Something was different. His voice, his eyes, the way he wouldn't meet hers. The discovery later that day while Zeke slept, Raina checked her equipment. She had reconnected her ship's damaged AI system to the alien console earlier. The logs had picked something up, an outgoing signal. Not from her. She froze. It was Virex coded, encrypted. She replayed it. It was short, simple. Subject alive. Location confirmed. Prepare retrieval. Her chest tightened. Zeke. He'd sent it. The confrontation. When Zeke woke, Raina stood over him, blaster drawn. Get up. Zeke opened his eyes slowly, saw the weapon, saw her face. Not angry. Hurt. What is this? She demanded, tossing the device toward him. Zeke didn't pick it up. You lied to me, she said. You said you wanted peace, you said we'd survive together, and then you call in a strike team behind my back? Zeke stood slowly, no weapon in hand, his voice calm, careful. I didn't betray you. I heard the signal. I sent a message, yes, but not what you think. Then explain now. He looked her straight in the eye. I sent a call to stop the war. I asked for a ceasefire. I told them we found something bigger than both our species, something that could destroy us all. Reyna didn't lower the gun. Why didn't you tell me? Because I wasn't sure. Who would hear it first, he said. My people, your people, or the ones under the ground. A rift opens. She didn't believe him. Not fully. Not yet. You risked my life, she said. You risked everything. I risked mine, he snapped. Do you think they'll listen to me? They'll kill me for even suggesting peace. You think I won't shoot you right now? He stepped closer. Then do it. Her hand trembled, but she didn't fire. Not because she couldn't, because deep down, she didn't want to. The mountain breaks. Their fight ended when the ground exploded beneath them, literally. The side of the mountain cracked, sending rocks and dust flying into the sky. A massive alien structure began rising, tall, spiked, humming with ancient power. A tower, or a weapon, or both. Zeke grabbed Reyna as they ran from the crumbling edge. They barely made it to cover. The tower continued to rise, revealing massive, carved symbols and pulsating red light. Reyna stared, shocked. It's a launch system. Zeke's eyes widened. A weapon that targets the stars. They're not just waking up, she said. They're preparing for war. And then, a ship as they watched the tower rise. A sound broke through the air engines. Reyna looked up. A ship. Human, not a rescue ship, a warship. Wait, she said, breathless. They heard the signal. They're here. Zeke's face went pale. Then we're out of time. The ship began its descent. Zeke turned to her. They think I betrayed them. They'll shoot on sight. Reyna stared at him. And they think, I've gone rogue. I'll be arrested. Or worse. Zeke's voice was calm. Then we run. To where? He pointed to the alien tower, still rising. There. Into the heart of the enemy. It's the only place they won't follow. Reyna hesitated. She should hate him. She should run from him. But she didn't. She ran with him. And as they disappeared into the shadows, the warship descended with weapons armed, looking for two fugitives, two traitors, two people who might be humanity's, and Virex's only hope. Passion ignites. The sky behind them exploded. The human warship unleashed its first strike, missiles screaming through the clouds, smashing into the alien mountain as if trying to erase it from existence. But the tower didn't fall. It absorbed the impact like it was sipping coffee. Inside the outer corridors, Reyna and Zeke ran through dark, breathing walls that pulsed like they were alive. The air was thick with heat and pressure. Alien runes glowed red around them, lighting their path deeper into the structure. Behind them, dust fell from the ceiling with every explosion. Ahead of them, the unknown waited, and between them, a silence so full of tension it felt like lightning waiting to strike. Heat without fire. Reyna was sweating, not from the running, not even from the fear. It was the way Zeke looked at her now, like she was the only clear thing in a world of chaos. Like his mission had changed and she was the new objective. She hated how that made her feel. She liked how that made her feel. Ugh. They stopped in a wide chamber, breathing hard. A giant alien device sat in the center, glowing slowly like a heartbeat. Reyna turned to him. Do you trust me? Zeke didn't blink. Yes. Her voice was quiet. I'm not sure I trust myself. The choice. They approached the device. It looked like a console, but different. Less machine, more organic, like a brain made of crystal and bone. Reyna touched it, Pain shot through her hand like electricity. She gasped and pulled back. Zeke grabbed her, steadying her. "It's alive." "It showed me something," she whispered. "What did you see?" She looked at him, eyes wide. "A choice. We can stop it, shut it down, but only with one human and one Virex linked to it." His expression tightened. "Linked how?" "Physically, mentally, maybe permanently." Link attempt W1, failure. They tried it. Together, they placed their hands on the core. It flared bright white, and then chaos. Reyna screamed. Her memories flashed like a storm. Her brother, her training, the first time she killed someone. Zeke roared in pain, images of battlefields, of fire, of losing his bondmate. The machine rejected them. They flew backward, both hitting the floor, hard. "It doesn't work," Reyna gasped. "We're too different." Zeke stood slowly. "No. We're still lying to each other." She looked at him. "What else do you want from me?" He stepped forward. His voice was rough, low. "Everything." The moment, and then, they kissed. No music, no soft lights, just blood, sweat, and the terrifying knowledge that the world could. And in the next 10 minutes, it wasn't perfect, it was messy, real hot. Reyna pulled back first, breathless. "What are we doing?" Zeke didn't answer. Because honestly, he didn't know either. But for the first time in years, he felt alive. The confession as they recovered, Reyna whispered, "I thought I hated you. I wanted to. You were the face of everything I blamed." "I know," Zeke said. "I was trained to see your kind as less than mine. Easier to kill that way. And now," he looked at her, "I'd kill for you." The interruption, suddenly, a noise echoed through the chamber, not alien, human. A voice came through Reyna's comm device, crackling and sharp. "Captain Carter, this is Commander Rhodes. We've locked your location. Prepare for extraction." Reyna froze, her old commander. She pressed the button. "Negative. Do not attack the tower. It's not what you think. Too late. Final. Strike in 60 seconds. If you're inside, get out." Zeke looked at her. "They'll destroy us both." She looked at the console. "Then we stop the weapon before they destroy everything." Link attempt number 2. The real one. Reyna and Zeke placed their hands on the core again, but this time they didn't resist the link. They opened up. Fully, they shared everything. Fear, guilt, memories of those they lost, of choices they regretted, of the way they saw each other now. Not as enemy or alien, but as equals. The machine accepted them. The core pulsed with white light. It stopped the tower, shut it down. All across the mountain, the energy faded. But outside, the missiles were still coming. Escape. Or end. Reyna's comm buzzed again. 30 seconds to impact. She turned to Zeke. "We run?" "No," he said. "We fly." They bolted to a side chamber where the energy readings were strongest. Inside, a small alien ship. Compact. Fast. Half-organic. A gift. Or a final test. They jumped inside, the controls reacting to their touch. The ship responded immediately, lifted off, shot into the sky. Behind them, the missiles hit the mountain. Fire. Smoke. A wave of destruction chasing their escape. They broke through the clouds just in time, alive, together, in the silence of space. The ship floated in orbit now, the stars stretching endlessly ahead. Reyna sat beside Zeke, staring at Earth in the distance. He broke the silence first. "You kissed me." She raised an eyebrow. "You kissed me back." "So what now?" Reyna smirked. "Now, we saved the galaxy." The choice. The alien ship hovered silently above the planet. Below them, fire still burned across the mountain. The tower had shut down, but the humans didn't know that. Reyna stared through the curved glass of the cockpit. Earth was just a glowing blue ball in the distance. So close. So far. Zeke sat beside her, calm, silent, but his jaw was tight. He was thinking, same thing she was. Sooner or later, she said quietly. They're going to find us. He nodded. And neither side will like what we've become. A call from Earth. Suddenly the ship's comm system buzzed. Reyna hesitated. Then she answered. Captain Carter, this is Admiral Kellen. Stand by for arrest and debriefing. We know you're on an unauthorized alien vessel. Reyna kept her voice steady. Sir, you're making a mistake. You've been declared compromised. We'll send a recovery team. Stand down. Another voice broke through the feed. Rough. Familiar. This is Commander Voran of the Virex High Command. Zeke Varnox is a traitor to our people. He is to be executed on sight. Reyna's fingers clenched. Zeke closed his eyes slowly. 2 messages, 2 orders, 1 very bad situation. The ultimate plan, they shut the comm off. Reyna looked at Zeke. If we go back, we die. He nodded. If we run, they'll chase us. Silence. Then Reyna stood and opened the main panel of the alien ship. Glowing interfaces lined the wall. It wasn't just a transport ship. It was also a broadcasting system. She stared at the screen. We send the truth. Zeke raised an eyebrow. To who? To everyone. The broadcast Reyna activated the main relay. A blinking light appeared. Connect to interstellar public channels? Yes. She hit yes. The screen showed her reflection. Hair, messy, clothes torn, eyes sharp. Zeke stepped beside her. She started to speak. To all those watching, this is Captain Reyna Carter of Earth. Beside me is Commander Zeke Varnox of the Virex military. Yes, we were enemies. We were trained to kill each other, and we tried. But then we saw the truth. We were fighting over lies. History twisted by fear. We found something ancient, something powerful. A weapon built by a race that vanished long before us. If we hadn't stopped it, it would have destroyed both our worlds. Zeke stepped forward. We are not here to beg for peace. We are here to prove it is possible. We are not soldiers anymore. We are witnesses. If either of our worlds wants to silence us, they'll have to do it in front of the entire galaxy. Reyna ended the broadcast. No music, no edits, just truth, raw and bleeding. The countdown back on Earth and Virex homeworlds, the broadcast spread like wildfire. Some called it treason, some called it salvation, others just called it impossible. But one thing was clear. Neither the humans nor the Virex could erase the message. The truth was out. The escape 10 minutes later, multiple ships appeared on radar. 1 human, 1 Virex. Both armed. Reyna turned to Zeke. They're not here to talk. Zeke cracked his neck. Then we don't stay. She powered up the alien ship's engines. Where to? Zeke smirked. Anywhere they can't find us. Reyna raised an eyebrow. You do know this makes us galactic fugitives? Correction, he said. Famous galactic fugitives. They punched the thrusters. The ship rocketed forward, cutting across the stars like a comet. Behind them, warships turned to chase. But the alien ship vanished into hyperspace, gone before they could lock on. One last moment, inside the cockpit, silence returned. Zeke leaned back. Reyna looked at him sideways. You still believe this can work? I believe we can, she smiled. Not a big one, just enough. Good. Because I'm not done making history. Epilogue. 3 months later, in a hidden sector of space, a signal repeats every hour. We were enemies. We became allies. We're proof that the future can be rewritten. They never say their names, but everyone knows. Some call them traitors. Some call them heroes, but one thing's for sure. They made a choice together.